Times were tough, so I sold my soul. And I don't think I'll ever regain control. Devil looked me in the eye, now I look the other way. What else could I do? I just stared at the doorway, knew I'd rather be drunk with you. I'd rather be
Internet, Dracofunk here, and welcome back to my Reusable Space program. And we are at the space truck stop, and I don't know why there was a fade out there. That was just a mistake in editing. And we have a shorter episode today because I got interrupted and I forgot to cut that section out, so I had to fix it. But right now we are with Space Truck 7. We are actually doing the job of Space Truck 8, but if you saw last episode, you can see you saw Space Truck 8 kind of, well, part of it fell off. So Space Truck 7 is going to do this job, and I will have to pull another space truck to do some other task. Actually, this isn't Space Truck 7, this is Space Truck 5? 4. No, 4. I don't even know my space trucks. Yeah, this is Space Truck 4. And we are going to grab the big monopropellant tank and the big liquid oxygen and propellant tank. And take them to Minmus and get them refilled. So, we've got our encounter with the big mono tank, and we are going to dock with it and head and get the other tank. So, I always underestimate how long this is going to be. Like, I imagine, for some reason in my mind, I would be able to get all of this done in about 2 or 3 episodes. And, well, that's not quite what happened. And it's just, I always underestimate how long things are really going to take. So we started the space trucks about episode 3, and we are at episode 6 right now, and I am of the opinion of however long things are going to take is how long they're going to take. And I could, force the narrative that we get things done quicker, but that wouldn't be truly what happened. And I'm all about doing, whatever happens, happens. So I wreck a spaceship, it wrecks. Like Space Truck 8, part fell off. Well, that's what happened. And that's kind of like, the whole point of setting this up is like what a real space infrastructure, within the Kerbal system would look like. And, life isn't going to be everything works out the way it's supposed to every time. And while I do often save at the end of each session, I've only had to reload once, and that's because of game crashes. I have a couple times reverted a launch or two when something weird or unexpected happens, or I did something absolutely stupid. But for the most part, like 90%, 95% of my videos, I don't know, I'm making up that number. But most of my videos, I am, what happens, happens, and this is the first try. And right here is where I got interrupted. Was it here? No, not yet. Oh yeah, we've already passed it. Yeah, there's a split cut there. I wasn't paying attention. I must have gotten interrupted for about 20 or so minutes. I had to walk away, and I forgot to edit that out originally. And that's why this episode's only about 12 minutes long. Normally I shoot for somewhere between 20 and 25 minutes. Oh, over 15 and less than 30. But here is the big liquid oxygen tank. And that's just so I have a little bit of liquid oxygen. And I probably should have filled up that tank a little bit more from here. Not that it really matters, because I'm going to get as much as I can from Minmus. And I realized the last episode, I think I need to launch at least two more liquid oxygen tanks. And maybe put a small, not liquid oxygen, 2 liquid fuel tanks, and maybe a small liquid oxygen tank. Just to bring a little bit of oxidizer. The space trucks really don't use oxidizer, but I think I'm going to have a maintenance ship to help tow the stranded ones, because it's going to have to go and get Space Truck 5 and help it dock. And I think I'm going to repurpose my original mining ship that I had at the Mun, which has just been sitting at Enterprise Station since Season 1. And I think that would be a good ship to repurpose kind of as the maintenance ship. And instead of just building a new ship, just use one that's already out there. And now I'm just getting my Minmus encounter. I'm not exactly sure how I messed it up, but there we go. It's a little bit of adjusting, and I got it. This isn't the greatest Minmus encounter I've ever gotten. Meanwhile, I think Space Truck 7 is on its way back to Kerbal, so I gotta be careful. I'm gonna have to be juggling between the two. Oh, I'm in a really, really bad orbit. I probably should have paid a little bit more attention, because it's cheaper to fix an orbit the further away you are. Once you're in its sphere of influence, this kind of orbital plane change can be expensive. The good news is, though, this is just Minmus, and it's not going to be too bad. Like a plane correction of this, like this, around like Duna or Eve or Jewel would be really, really, really expensive in Delta V. But around Minmus, it's not going to be that bad. And yeah, here we are back at Space Truck 7, because it needs to get its orbit captured around Kerbal. And, cinematography-wise or story-wise, for you guys, it probably would have been better to just focus on doing one ship's thing at a time. But if this were a real space program, it wouldn't be just one thing doing one thing at a time. It'd be everybody doing all the things at the same time. And sometimes I can do stuff like that. Like right now I have one ship coming back from Minmus, one ship going to Minmus. And just do a plane alignment. Right. Nope, that's not going to work. Just do it manually, Dracofunk. There we go. All right. So my goal is to just get this into a 400 kilometer parking orbit, and once it's there, we can come back and get the docking done in another episode. Oh yeah, do it manually, Dracofunk. So Space Truck 7 is now back in orbit of Kerbal, and it has its load of fuel. And if you're wondering why the Delta V is so low, I disabled the cross feeds, so it's actually not using the fuel from those two big fuel tanks. And you know, honestly, it wouldn't really matter, because everything that's coming out of those fuel tanks is to fuel the space trucks, which is what Space Truck 7 is. So any fuel it doesn't use, and I'm probably going to have to pump some over. But hey, that's it for today. Join us next time. See you later.